Hi everyone, I'm Lokesh Jha and this is the Web Dev series and we are at the Node.js first video right now. We have covered the HTML, CSS and other topics with React is also closed now. Now we are moving towards backend of the project that we will be building using Node.js. So this video will be covering the Node.js basics, modules, FS is the file system and path, npm and package.json. If you have been with me since the JavaScript videos, you have gone from variables and loops from the JavaScript video and like way of building the full React app with the diff finder that we have built in the previous video, and that's the front end completely covered. So today we are starting the new backend brand new mini series, and Node.js and Express we will be covering. By the end of these 5 videos, I think you will be able to build the test and kind of connect a real app with the real REST API to your React frontend. So you will be building a full backend with the REST API, and your frontend will be there in the React, and you will be connecting them and doing the API calls, and you will be testing them. So it's kind of full stack behavior will be there, and you will be ready for your full stack jobs. And today in the first video, we will be covering the basics of Node.js, and we are not touching Express yet. That's the video 2. We will be covering that. And today is about understanding what Node.js actually is and getting comfortable with like 4 building blocks modules, the FS module and the path module and npm, that is a package managed. By the end of this video, we will build a working HTTP server using nothing but the plain Node.js, no framework, no shortcut. So you understand exactly what's happening before we let Express do it for us next time. So the thing is, you can build your HTML server using plain Node.js also. But yeah, we use framework to reduce the amount of work needed to do the same thing. Since we have a framework, then it reduces the developer's effort and manages more thing in the backend, and we just use that framework in order to have the good developer experience. So, but yeah, it is also a nice things to have a better understanding of how things are. And we have Node.js and JavaScript. So you might be thinking that why it is kind of popular that we like very readily see in the job post and everywhere that Node MERN or Node.js React, these things are the highly available or being hired for. So the thing is, the JavaScript provides an environment like if you learn JavaScript, then you can code in backend, frontend, everywhere to one language and working in other environments very comfortably. So that's why JavaScript grew this much. And this will be the roadmap for today. Section 1, what is Node.js and why it matters. Section 2 will be covering the modules, required exports versus ES modules. The section 3 will be the FS module, reading and writing files. If you have some files like CSV or something, we will read through the code. Then we have section 4, the path of modules, the safe safe cross-platform paths. So how do we access the files and all? So this is the path module. And in the section 5, we have npm and package.json, how dependencies really work. The mini project we will build HTTP server built from scratch. The first section, which is what is Node.js and why it matters. So let's start with big question: what actually is Node.js? Until now, every line of code you have of JavaScript you have been written has run inside the browser, Chrome, Firefox, or whatever you are using, and that will be running in the browser. So the browser gave JavaScript a place to live. Browser supports something that compiles the JavaScript. So it gave the JavaScript a superpower like the DOM and fetch API, but it kept JavaScript locked in a sandbox. No reading files, no opening network ports, none of that for security reasons. Node.js takes the small JavaScript engine that powers Google Chrome. It's called V8 engine. So, so this V8 engine, it powers the Chrome. So what did Node.js did that? Okay, Node.js did okay. I will have the V8 engine inside me, and we will have a platform where the JavaScript could be used as a backend code. How we see as Java, that Java does the backend code, or Python could be used in backend. So now JavaScript could be also used in the backend. So Node.js gave the same kind of environment to the like V8 engine to JavaScript to run in the backend. So let's suppose you have a car and it has an engine and it's sold. Now you pick that engine and you put it in your boat, not like technically, just assume that. So you put it in your boat and now that is running your boat. So this is kind of okay. The same engine is shifted from the browser to the Node.js, and now it is making the JavaScript run for the backend logic also. Now it can access the files. It can just give access to HTTP server, expose a port, and it can take requests. It can give responses. How we like saw that how API calls are happening, so it can do the processing inside and give a response from the server. It packages that engine with its own set of built-in superpowers, reading and writing files, creating servers, taking talking to database, running on schedules like cron jobs, like which auto calls, and that's it. Node.js is not a language. It is a not a framework. It is a JavaScript runtime. So if yeah, here you can see Node.js environment. So it is a runtime. It is not kind of code or like not a language or not a framework. It is a runtime to JavaScript. So Node.js is an environment that makes JavaScript run outside the browser and with extra capabilities the browser would never allow. So those could be achieved by Node.js. So I have given this message especially for the phrases that do not mix up with the languages. By like Node.js is not a framework, not a language. It is a runtime. Okay, you can take a screenshot or note it down. So now, since you have learned JavaScript, you have run React. So will the logics that you have read there will be useful in Node.js? So yes, whatever you have learned, how you define a variable, a function, array method, dot map, dot filter, promises, async, await, closures, restructuring, all of it works exactly the same way in Node.js. And you are not learning a new language today. You are learning a new environment uh, in for the language you already know. So you will know the how you will know the language. So it will be easier to understand. Okay, you are just applying that in a different way, which you have not. Yeah, and also you can take note of this that Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment on Chrome's V8 engine and lets JavaScript run outside the browser. The key difference in access in the browser, as JS has a sandbox and only gets the browser, and in the Node.js you will be outside the browser. So those things you can note it down. If someone asks, you can answer this. Now let's go to the section 2, modules required and export versus ES module. So as your project grows, like previously we have seen while we are building the React app, we started with the one file only, that app.jsx. Then we created the pages, then we created components, then hooks, and so many files grew. And similarly, if the project is built in real project is built, then the files grow, the code base grows. So you will need a way to split the code across multiple files in order to have a better management. So, and pull pieces from one file to another. Like you have a kind of code which will be used in multiple places. So in order to write in multiple places, you will write it at once and you will reuse it. Kind of like you have a function which does like addition of two numbers and it will be used in multiple places. So you will write it in one place and you will be using in multiple other places. So there we will see how we will be importing it. So that's what a module system does, like importing and exporting and separating the files. Node.js ships with its own module systems called CommonJS. So CommonJS is there. So this is Node.js inbuilt feature, and it's been the default since Node.js was created. More recently, Node also added a support for ES modules. This was added, and the same import and export syntax you have already seen in the every React file you have been written. So this is the kind of same syntax you will see here also. Looks like on the both way, like let's look at both because you generally will see both in the real code base, and interviewers loves asking the difference about these differences. So here is the common.js math.js file till here. You have defined a function add and you are writing here, then you have a function subtract, you are written here. Module.export exposes these functions to the outside world. So you have a file, you have written these things, but how the other file will import this, or how will it will use, first it needs to expose it, otherwise it will not able to import it. So it exposed using module.exports, and what it needs to export it, if this doesn't have a subtract, then subtract could not be used outside this file. So it created and it exported that, okay, now you can use it. And here we have CommonJS app.jsx. Here we are writing constant add. All means this is the app.jsx where we will be importing this file. Add, subtract are required from .math, and it is used like this, like normally, like how this is already present in this file. This way we are freedom, like with ease, we will be using the function. Module.export is the doorway out of a file, and whatever you attach to it is what other files are allowed to require, like how I explained. And forget to export something, and it simply won't like exist for the other file to import. It will say that this path is not exporting something like subtract. So then you will know that, okay, it is not exported from there. You need to check in that file that have I exported the subtract or not. Now we have ES module. We have seen the CommonJS. Now we have ES module. So first opt via the package.json. So in our project, in Node.js project, we will have a file which is called package.json, where we will define that, okay, type is module. By default, it is common.js. And if I want that, okay, I will be using the ES module, that I need, then I need to define it here in the package.json file. So as we have app.jsx, as we other files are there, we will see that how this is file looks and all. So same way, this file will be there. We will update this. Then we will write here export functions add. So here we are directly exporting it. We do not need to write at the last that export.module. We can export directly from here, export function, and we define the function. Here we define the function from the mat.jss. We will, from this, I will import these things. So this is how we are using it. So this was the ES module, how we are kind of little bit of different, like here we require, here we write from. So this is the kind of new way we are right now we using. Yeah, so now we have some tips, like this question is being asked like for 2-3 years, that CommonJS require this thing, loads modules synchronously and can be called conditionally. So like if you are writing a code, and if inside a if block or something, you can just import it if that is required. But means like it is required means it is needed, then we will import, otherwise not. And ES modules are imported are static, and these are resolved at the top of the file before any code runs. And they support asynchronous loading. Part of why the ecosystem is steadily shifting towards ESM at the long-term default. So these you will see that, okay, as soon as you like kind of when it is not like, okay, this file is loaded, then it will import everything. So as per required, it will be importing, and it is defined at the top, so kind of clean architecture. And also it's kind of the easy thing or best practice we see as a developer. That's why we are moving towards it. Now you cannot mix require and import both in a file, as we need to have the file either follow the CommonJS or the new ES modules. And yeah, pick one of the default. No, it reads the every JS file as a CommonJS, and yeah. Also, you need to write type module, otherwise everything will be considered as CommonJS. So it will throw error that why you are using from, since it is a CommonJS, then you should go in the package.json and write type module. Then it will understand, okay, I need to look for from, as this is coming from ES module, and not throw error. Here we have React connection. The import and export syntax is not new to you, and it's exactly what you have been writing in every React component. We have seen the uh, import and export always in all the videos. And what is the difference between require and import in Node.js? So if we, okay, we have to see here, yeah. Node.js default to CommonJS and using require and module.export, but required is synchronous and can be called dynamically anywhere in the code. Import export is the ES module, standard static resolved at the top of the file and capable of async module loading. You opt into ESM in Node via type module. So it kind of we are repeating the same things because kind of looking for things in different directions. But yeah, the main thing is that okay, you have CommonJS and which uses require, and the ES module uses from, and which is used by type module. And the new thing is ES module, and everyone is using that because that is a synchronous kind of importing thing. Now we have section 3, the file system, the FS module. So one of the biggest reason to use Node.js instead of just in the browser JavaScript is direct file access. A browser will never let JavaScript freely read the your hard drive for very good security reasons. Otherwise, someone will come, like if you will open a website and you have a JavaScript code and it will go through your personal data. So that is not good. That's why JavaScript in the browser do not have access to access your hard drive and read the files. For that, we have Node.js. Node.js has such no such restriction. So it shifts with a built-in modules called FS, sort of file system that lets JavaScript lets the like FS module let give the capability to JavaScript to read and write the also update delete files from your code. So you can write code which can manipulate the data. And for FS, it is kind of included in Node.js native thing. You do not need to import a library or something. FS gives three flavors of almost every operation: synchronous, asynchronous blocking version. You need to you are writing some like reading or writing something. You need to wait till it is done. Then an older callback based asynchronous version. We have already seen what is callback is, so I hope you understand. A modern promise based version, which since it is modern, so yeah, by the word you know that okay, this is used really. Promise version means like I will have the knowledge when the reading or writing is completed, so I can perform some action after that. In 2026, for almost everything you write, you will reach for a promise based version because it pairs perfectly with async await, exactly like the fetch in the React video how we did. So as we have discussed the blocking kind of mechanism, here we have synchronous. You can see the code till here. We have blocking read like constant fs require fs. We have like using the fs file system. Constant data equals to fs dot read file synchronous node.txt. This is the file's name, and this is the kind of character that is present, UTF-8, which is the normal alphabet, and console.log data. So it will read the whatever note is, and it will print it. It will read, then it will print. Now we have promise based recommended read. Okay, so it is requiring the fs with the promises, and we have async function read nodes try constant equals to await fs read file. So it is reading file with the await. It will wait till it is completed, then it will console here. and this is calling the function. Okay, now we have write a file. So we can just normally write require fs promises and fs.write file. What to write you can put here, and this is here. So this is the normal kind of function calling, but to specific way, like we are providing fs.write file or fs.read file with the file name and what to perform and all. For analogy, you can take a synchronous fs call is like a single cashier who refuses to serve anyone else in the line. You are like in the line, and until the current customer entire transaction completed, then you like the counting changes and bagging item everything changes, and the next person comes. So in asynchronous call, it's like the same cashier starting your transaction, then immediately helping the next person. Like, okay, till that computer is processing that, I can take your goods and start the packaging and all those things. So it's kind of asynchronous. Okay, you are waiting till then I will okay do the other thing. So what happens here? If you are using the synchronous thing, then your computer will not your computer, your server will say, okay, go and do the reading, and I will perform some other action till then. When you are completed, just let me know. Here, the whole thing will be blocked till it is completed. So that's why it is called blocking. It blocks the thread to perform any another task. So that's why it is not good, and now it is recommended because now we have section 4, that is path module. Fs needs file path, of course, like where to look and how. Here we have written something like node.txt, so it will look at the place where the file is, means at the place where this code is written, it will look for nodes.txt, and if there it is present, then okay, otherwise it will say that okay, I didn't find the file. So it needs to give the path to program, like this is the my base path. Like what happens, you have written a code. Now if you are in workspace slash your project slash demo code, something like that, and before workspace there is some fixed thing that for you, but you transfer this to your friend laptop, and you have a username, so it will change to that person. So now the new developer needs to change that. Now the same thing goes to the production. There it will be something other. So this path, which is not involved, which is not fixed for this project, where this like this project file is present. So suppose you have something C slash location slash workspace. Here we have the full project and something something something. So this path will be changing. Like here I have my username, so that's what is here. But if this goes to some other person's system, then it will be different. And if goes to server, then it will be different. Something like etc slash something, then slash something. So this path changes. So for this we need to be dynamic. So here we will use path, and it says whatever the project's base path is, take that, then start from there. So it replaces, it keeps this path dynamic. So it is handled by Node.js by itself. So in normal words, FS needs file path to work with and paths are trickier than it looks, mainly because Windows and Linux, Mac disagree on how we write them. Windows uses backslash, Linux and Mac uses forward slash. If you hardcode, also there is Windows uses a space in the name, and it is okay. But sometimes it gets tricky that you need to have double quotes. So these problem comes, and if you hard coded the path, then it will break your code. So that's why we need to use something which should solve this problem without breaking things. So yeah, we have here we see that dir name and path dot join. Okay, so constant path equals to required path, as we have imported the fs, and this require will know that okay, this is CommonJS kind of structure we have. We will be relating things in order to keep remembering. If you repeat things, you will remember anyhow. So we have read the CommonJS and we have read the ES module. So this is CommonJS pattern. Here we have dir name equals to absolute path of the folder containing this file. So console log dir name will give you the whole path where this file is present in that system. So as C, like constant file path equals to path.join this data and notes.txt. So what it does, like wherever this file is, this code file path is, that slash data and node.txt. I want to put this node.txt at the same place but inside a data folder. So it will do that. And this is the difference, the forward slashes, backward slashes. So that's why we do that. Here the project have the prefix of home/user, and here it is c/user/users. Twice. So this is okay. One is the user folder name and is the username. Yeah. Now we have path.join. So you can explore these things. You can we will see that how you can write a normal Node.js file, and you can just code these out, and you will find out okay what Lokesh was saying. It is correct. Things changes, but yeah, you will have not two computers. But what you can do, you can create those, like you can move that folder or file in other places, and then you can run it again, and you will see that okay, the file is giving something different. Like if we go and write something path check.js, and here I write constant path equals the required path and console log current directory and current file name. And here I write where I am cd dot placement series node and path. If I run here, then you can see user slash this is like it is coming like okay, I have saved this folder on desktop and these things are visible and the current file is this. But what if I move it inside the React? Then what happens? And then I will go inside the React, and again the same command I will execute. Then you will see how it got updated. That okay, this here we can see the React is added since it is inside the React folder, and we have path check.js, which is the file name. But here the React was updated. Then again, if I move it outside, move, and I will go out and same path. So it gives like it's a dynamic kind of path. It will be used for that only. So you can experiment with these things. Also, before that, just please check if these commands are not running. Was check you have Node or not. If you are following till from the starting, then you will have Node. Else, just install it. You will install Node, and npm will come along with it. You will check, it will come. Okay, and if you can go with NVM. So NVM is just an extra thing from off topic. So NVM is like a node version manager, where you can do like, let's suppose you are having a node of 22. What we have 22.16.0. Okay, this version is there. You are working on this. Okay, fine. You joined some startup, and there you got some code, and it says it should use 24.16, and this is the backend, and you are in the front end. It is using 22.40. So anyhow, this is kind of same, but this is kind of bit different, and you want to switch to this, and you are not using npm, then it is like installing Node and then installing this version. But here you can just switch that. You can just say nvm list, and it will show that which kind of more version. which versions are there, which I have installed. Like I have 18, 22.13, 14, 16. These things are there, and I can just what happened? Yeah. Then I can use like nvm use this version, nvm, sorry. So it will now be if I do node v, then it will show 22.14.0. So I have switched to that version. Now again, if I do the correct nvm as 22.16.0, then I'm back with 16.16 version. So that's why we use nvm. So install nvm, and there you will get node. So that is the better way. And now we have difference between path join and path resolve. So path join combines the path segment using the correct OS specific separator and normalizes the result, but the output isn't guaranteed to be absolute. But path.resolve processes the segment from right to left and always returns the absolute path, like prepending the current working directory if none of the segments were already absolute. So this gives the correct one. This gives the, like, somehow it could be wrong sometimes. Now we have section 5, which is npm package.json. Two things. Package.json is capital, but it is not. Yeah. So the last building block before our mini project, we will be looking for npm stands for node package manager, which is this. So here you will file all the packages for the node project, which you will be working on, like React. So here you can see the React framework is here, and it is one. Don't verify me. Let it verify. What happened? So yeah, similarly, we have yarn. So this is also there, and we have pnpm. As it says, pnpm saves time, saves disk, saves space, supercharger your mono repos. So what it does, if you have like mono repos and you are kind of having a common package manager, it means then it will be skipping the like duplication of the packages. It will reuse the package which is installed. So if you have like multiple, here you have service, and it all uses three same packages, so it will not replicate thrice. It will reuse it, and it will cache it, so that when you are installing again, so it will be used. So it's kind of fast, also optimized. uh, Basically people start from npm, and like people now are moving more on pnpm because of the positive memory efficiency and fast behavior. So yeah. I was there about the npm. So it is two thing at once: massive public repository for free open source packages. You can just import what other developer have already published, so it reduces the number of codes that you need to write. And also a command line tool that you can download those packages to your project, and it really helps. You can just google that, okay, I need some, yeah, I can. So you can just need helmet. Open. Yeah. So helmet helps secure Node.js Express app. It sets HTTP response header such that contains security policy and these things. So it protects your application by adding these policies to your request and response or something like. And you can read about this. So you are skipping some kind of reinventing the wheel as you have listened. So npm helps in that. And you have already used npm in the React series. And every time you ran npm install like react router dom, this is the exact tool that you and registry you were talking to, like you were asking the npm that okay, give me react router dom, I want that, and it was giving you, and it was installed in the node modules file here, as you see. uh, in any file here, this is the project, you will open this and you will file node modules. So here all the packages are coming from npm npm installed, and this is the package.json file where we keep the record that which uh, dependencies are installed, and this dependencies also have its own dependency, which you can see here, like these node modules, bevel, code frame, kind of too many packages here. This you can ignore, but yeah, this you should understand that we write some scripts here that okay, I want whenever I write npm run dev, then it should run this. npm run build, then it should run this. Currently, you are thinking that why npm run dev, why not like npm run white? So it's kind of standard npm run dev. If someone as a developer comes, he will just write npm run dev, and he need not to look inside the package.json what is the basic code. So we kind of pre fill like we make it ready whenever someone hits it, all the script will be ready there. And in production, these are like kind of longer commands. So this package.json card is like an identity card for your project. It contains all the data, all the package, all the kind of settings, all those things will be present here. And yeah, if you might be thinking what is the difference between dev dependencies and dependencies. So in short, dependencies are used in productions. Dev dependencies are required in while we are developing it. But in the proper definition, dependencies are packages required for the app to run in production, like Express, like this React and React Down. All those are required. So in like this is for frontend, Express is the backend. And dev dependency are the tools only needed during the development, like Nodman for running this. No, you will know what is Nodman, and or a testing library like some types or something, or ESLint. Here it checks that all the variables are used. If there is unused variable, so it is kind of बेकार की चीज, so it will delete that, like it will tell us to delete that. And so yeah, this is kind of, so on the production we only install dependencies, not dev dependencies. Now um, now we have talked so much about the what our logics are, so we should be considering now building something that really gets what we have like listened this much. So now we're building a basic http server that will bring all these things in, and we will see the capability of what we can build. Now we will be building a mini project to put everything together. Let's first create a, okay, we have a folders, yeah, Node.js. So to put all the four building blocks together, we are going to build a real working web project and web server using the nothing but Node built-in HTTP modules. Actually, what happens like when you go in Office or you will be building projects further, you will be using Express for the HTTP server because it just reduces the whole kind of work into 1, 2, or 3 lines, and you just use Express and like expose the Express, and it creates the HTTP, and now your server is ready to get any request from the outside, like from the front end. But in order to see that how these things work in the backend, we will be building without Express right now. The goal is not to build something production grade. It is to feel with your own hands exactly what a framework like, and Express automates everything for you. So what? So that um, we add Express next time, you understand precisely why we like we are using it, why it is useful instead of creating like the whole Node.js a magic. So what Express does the magic and all. So we will be showing right now. So let's go inside this directory Node.js, and here we will make a folder mkdir node basic server, and then we will go inside using the cd change directory, and then mkdir. What happened? Okay, that is created node. Oh, yeah. Sorry, cd node basic server. If you actually, what happens when you type cd, then you type node, and then you press on tab button tab, then it completes it. If there are more other options like that, it will suggest you that okay, with the nod there are more prefix, something like that, so you can be more precise, then the tab will work. So now you are inside this directory, and inside this you want to see all the files and folder, you can type ls, or if you are in Windows, then you can do dir, then it will show all the files and folder inside it. Currently it's empty, so we will do npm init, and you can do dash like -y, that you are expecting everything, like there it will be asking for name and all, so you just enter this, and it created a package.json file, which is our blueprint of the project. So this here it tries basic server, and the version is 1.0.0. It is used in order to keep the versioning of the build of the backend, so that what happens when you want to go in the back, that okay, I have created some mistake in the version of 1.0.3, I want to go back 1.0.2, then you will know that okay, the previous version is this, and it is easier to find and navigate to and deploy again. So that's why it's kind of how you keep the version, that this is this version, like how Iron Man creates M1, like the Mark 1, Mark 2. So that's why the same way. And here we have scripts. Now let's, so here we will be not having external React using for the front end. We will be using here only, just write by index.html, and here we will say, so if you type this exclamation mark and enter, so you will find this basic template of the file. Here you can put something like, here you have had the document as no express framework. Okay, and in the body you can just give Node.js basic server and a paragraph saying that no express, no framework, only plain Node.js, something like that. And this is then, so this is kind of one HTML file. If you go here and either you can enable in Finder, and here you can open with Google Chrome. So here you will find it. So this is the Node.js, sorry, the HTML what we have right now. Now we will create a server.js. Here we will take first HTTP, which is inbuilt in this. Okay, we need to stop it, otherwise, yeah. Okay, so now we have imported HTTP, FS, and path. Since these features are available in Node itself, we do not need any npm package to like importing it by npm install this package and that package. So that's why it is like inbuilt things we are using right now. And when you will see your server will run, it will look like local host colon, then here we will see port like 3000 or something, So how you see www.google.com. Then after this, you will see something. Your search keyword is this, something like that. So this base part, when it is deployed on server, you need to like when. So first, what happens? You deploy on server. Server gives you IP, something like that. And if you use this one slash or only this one only here if you put like this thing and press enter, so it will land you to the I like where the website. This site doesn't support a secure connection, so okay, this is also a connection, don't know. So this will land you if you have a IP of Google, then you can directly use that IP, and you can have the ping on that and you will land to the Google page. So this is the same thing. Then what happens? You go to Hostinger or Namecheap or somewhere to buy a domain, and you buy a domain of google.com. You buy something which is like, let's suppose this is the name of company, com, and they have listing of Google's, Yahoo or something, and you buy from them that okay, I want google.com. Now they write that okay, a person named Lokesh has bought google.com, and where he wants to redirect. If someone comes and types google.com, then where the user should go. So for that, they will ask you for the IP, which is the IP. So then you give this IP that okay, this is my IP. So they will say, okay, when someone will come here, I will send it to here. So this is the kind of mapping only. Why this mapping is done? Because this is more human readable and this is not. Because you do not give go and say that okay, my website is on 12.9.9.0. But yeah, this is better google.com and something. So we got a gist. So here on local system, it is localhost 3000. You have seen the memes also that my project is ready. Please have a look. Google host 3000. So that is a thing that you didn't deploy, and you are asking your friend to check this because this only runs on your laptop. Okay. So we will take port equals to 3000 and constant server equals http dot create server async, then a function inside this starts request comma response, and yeah, so this is a kind of fat arrow function that we have learned in JavaScript. You could have written like other way also, like writing a different place of function and writing there. Here we are writing console.log dollars request dot method and dollar request dot URL. So I'm printing that what is the method post get or what, there is methods, and URL, what is the URL. So I will print that. Then here we need to check if request dot URL is only slash, like there is nothing, just a slash, like how we land on a google.com, and that is, there is nothing after that. So if it is a home page, then try, and we have a file path. What we want to do, we want to where it is now, yeah, we want to show this index page, the content of that page, when someone lands to our page, lands to our website. But okay, so file path equals we could have written that, okay, since the file path is index.html, we could have written something like index.html. But the point is, we have already discussed previously that path is used to give the correct paths to the file path, since when you change your laptop, it will give kind of, so let's see, if I click here and if I do copy path and I print, wait a minute, if I print this, so it will give me the correct path on my laptop. It will work, but it will not work in another computer. So what needs to do or server? So I will do path dot join, and here I will put dir name. So here we have double quotes, okay, means a double underscore, 1 2, okay, then dir name, and we have index.html. So wherever this file is, server.js, this, and at the same place index.html is there. If I have a folder inside this, and that is called web, and inside that we have index.html, so it will be like web will be also here, web and comma. So this will be like that, but right now there is no folder involved. Okay, so constant html, we will wait in order to get the content of that file. The read file, it will be file path dot utf8. So here we have written read file only because it's a asynchronous method of reading a file. It will not block the thread of JavaScript in order to like what happens, you have a file kept at a place and you want to read this file. Now you have other users also who wants to request you for the file, but since you are reading that file already for one user, other user will be blocked. But here what happens, it can read parallelly to others. There is one thread in JavaScript that is all known, that okay, one thread only. But you know that okay, in event loop what happens, since this is a kind of a task which will take time, so it will go into the web tools, and there the reading will happen, and then it comes, and when it will coming to you, you need to that event loop will take this and execute it, then you will get the HTML. So this line will help. So it could be written like this also. This will block your thread. It will not allow your code to allow others to request this. They will be just loading. So that is not a good thing. So that's why. Now we have a request dot request dot write head. Here we will put 200 as the status code. There are status codes like 200, 201, 300, 400, 401, 404. 404, you must be knowing that when something not found, then it is 404. So you will understand what status codes are, why we follow that, in order to like how you know that okay, what 404 means. So that's why it's kind of standard we need to follow, so that if any other developer comes, the standards are maintained. That's why, because developer comes and go, the code persists. So that's why it needs to be correct. Now we have content type, and here we have text slash HTML. We are defining that this file what we are sending is a HTML, so that there is information about that. Then request dot send, sorry, request dot end. Here the request ends and with HTML. And if something goes wrong, mean, like in this process, something goes wrong, like the file is not there or something happens. So the server should not crash. It should be gracefully handled. That's why we use catch. That if something goes wrong, please catch this. If we would not return this try and catch, if something goes wrong, the server will crash and other users should be using, but they will be not able to use that. So you will lose money. Now response dot right mm, right head. Yeah. Oh, something wrong in the internal user. Like something wrong happened. So I said context type, and here we will put text plain. I want to send a message that response dot end something wrong or something went wrong reading the page. This was the error, and since we have if, similarly we can write something for else. If we can copy this, paste this, then here about, if someone is asking for the about, then we will say okay, we do not need these things. I will be sending plain, and it will be this is no framework project without express. Okay, something like that message is there. Something went wrong our side. Something like message we can provide. And so these were this. And if user comes something new, like which we have not defined yet. So response dot 404 name not found. We can say that's okay. Or page not found. Then after all these things, we will just say server, where this server is coming, this here server dot listen where like to what, listen to this port. Said okay. And here when you start listening, print console.log server, oh, server running on localhost port. Okay. Yeah, here we can add like http colon slash slash okay. Now, the small thing here, how we will be start, like we can start by node server this way. Oh, it has a wait, but yeah, we will look at this since this is the test. Let's remove this. npm start. Let's say start. So when I will run the start command, what command should run? Node server .js and save. Okay. So now you can run npm start here, and let's see npm start errors. Okay, we will see that. Yeah. Let's first fix this. It says here at await It is async bro, then why to message asynchronous behavior it gives. Oh, here we have given comma. So now, yeah, this is correct. So this we can go. Oh, it's kind of URL. Yeah. So oh, nice. Something went wrong because this is not able to read the file. So yeah, here we forgot to add the promise. Let's start the server and refresh. Again, errors. This is FS. FS is importing read file. Yeah, now it is working. The problem was I wrote on request. Actually, it should be on response. Same here. These two lines for the home page and same for the about page. So now if I close this and run, it runs here. If I put about, okay, this doesn't work like that. Yeah, about this is not okay. Something I wrote wrong about then page not found. So we have handled all the three cases. Actually, we can handle more everything, but yeah, kind of you can add pages here and then you can use these. So what happened here? You have written this server.listen and all. The main thing is here http.create server. Then you write async. Then here will the function. Here you are writing that okay, if the request.url is this, then do this. Otherwise, do this. You are handling the request and response manually, so it is very old fashioned. Right now, you will see in the Express, it is kind of very nice and smooth. So this was the video. Let's recap today with zero external packages. You learn like what Node.js actually is and why it exists and how to split code across files using modules. You have seen the kind of structure how to do the files using CommonJS, and right now we are using ES modules. Not in this project, we will be using that, and how to read, how to write a file safely. What is fs dot read sync, read file sync and only read file, and how I forgot here to write the promises because this is required in order to use await. Otherwise, it is not a async function. Like this is not a way of using that, and that's generally a good foundation you got right now. Most of that we just covered so in the interview, so you should be ready with these contents. And next video we will be bringing on Express, and you will see immediately how like how much the boilerplate it removes, like how much the kind of code you did it removes. The exact if else routing that we did will be written in a couple of lines only, and I will push this code to the GitHub, so you can find it in the description, and just do practice, see how these things are, like how I forgot to add here promise, so why this happens and those things. So if you tweak these things, then you will get to learn more. Okay, bye bye. Let's see you in the next video. Okay, bye.